By the time this ends, you're probably going to figure out how much money is coming out of your wallet for your child's school supplies. Thanks for joining us. I'm John the Carmody. We're still in our back to school month, and which is our month away from Flower Bluff. That's gonna mean you parents out there are gonna be getting your child's school supply list ready. So, with that school supply list ready in your hand, the question is often asked: how much money am I gonna have to spend for my child's school year? Well, you can always trust the price tags. But let's face it, they gotta do as much with the taxes as delivery. So if you're planning on delivering having your child's school supply list delivered, you're gonna end up wasting a lot of money. However, if you do pickup's gonna cost more, even if you do it from HEB. So a little later on, we're gonna do something like we've never done. We first showed you this story a few years ago. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you the story. Take a second look at the story. Then what we're also going to do, we're going to do the same experiment that Bill Churchill did, and we're going to find out how much money that we could have saved with the brand names. Even if you were going to Walmart, you'd probably be still saving a lot of money. Here's Bill Churchill with our second look.
The first thing I did was print out the supply list. We're going to use the items needed in grade 3 to search for, so let's get shopping. Instead of searching the shelves in store, I chose to fill my cart online using HEB's mobile service. So the first item I need looks like a zipper pouch. Let's find that. $2.03. Boom. Add that to the cart. Number 2, pencils, scissors, and glue sticks were in stock and easy to find. Up next, the cost for crayons. Oh, look at that. They're on sale. 52 cents each. I need 2 of those. A package of pencil top erasers. I need 4 of those. That's a lot of mistakes. I don't see a 200 count for notebook paper, but there is a 300 for 307. Let's add that. Map pencils. What are those? One of the more higher cost items you can expect to find, a 2-inch 3-ring binder. That's $5.09. Okay, I think I have everything on my list. 37 items for an expected total of $68.87. It took a lot longer than I expected, about 20 minutes to find everything that I needed on my list. So parents, I feel your pain, but I did keep it under $100, so that is good news. But also keep in mind that was just for one kid. And that list did not include items like a new backpack. If you are looking for a deep discount, do your research. After all, you still have tax-free weekend to finish your back-to-school shopping. That will take place August 5th through the 7th. But be prepared for the crowds. The first day of school for CCISD, Tuesday, August 9th. Bill Churchill, 3 News.
Do your research and do your homework. That way, you can be right on top with your school supply list and probably save you some more money. Never happened. So with this in mind, let's do a little experiment. Bill Churchill already done shopping at HEB. Now let's see what happens when we do a little shopping at the Walmart for the school supply list. So here's the first step. Find your if you're going to Flower Bluff, like we're going to do right now, we're going to look up their school supply list. And it should be probably on a PDF document. So this is the first step. If you're going to shop online, if you do it online, then print out the shopping list. So it should be on a PDF document. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do this example here for intermediate. So let's say you're going to shop for your child for intermediate school, which we're going to do right now. So we're not going to actually. You might be thinking, are you going to buy all this? We're not going to actually buy the thing. We're just basically going to show you what would happen if you were to use pickup. Oh, with this in mind, I forgot the thing was unplugged. Even if you're putting out your school supplies doing a show like this, you need to plug in your stuff. Alright, there we go. So what we need is a 3-ring binder with zipper. So I would search if I want to be found. Let's say 3-ring binder. We would find one like this for $4, and we would find one like this for like $4. So let's remove this real quick. So here's what we're gonna do. If it's a 4-pack, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add it to cart. So and then we're gonna move on. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna continue to look at the shopping list, and when we come back, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna finish this. When I come back, we're going to look at the total and see how much I would have saved if I were to use Walmart or if I were to use delivery for DoorDash. So please stay with us. And then later on, we're going to talk about homework. So please stay with us. Welcome back. Welcome back to our second look. Tonight we're doing a little experiment. Before the break, we showed you a Bill Church report all about saving money on your school supplies and looking at those discounts. So we're going to be doing the same thing like what Bill Churchwell did. We're going to be using the FABF Intermediate School Supply List and to see what we can rack up so far. So right now I have 14 items, which totaled me up to $17.07 so far. So far before I start recording again, I stopped at the pencil sharpener. Now we need matte pencils. $12 count. These are kind of tough to do. Or maybe we could just do... I mean, if you were to look up... Don't go matte pencils. Just... I mean, if you're going to put in matte pencils, just put in, like, colored pencils. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's what we need. Okay. Now we need skinny markers. There we go. And we need a zipper pencil bag. Binder pouch. You have to find one that's cheaper. That's $1.22 each. Okay, back to facial tissue, earbuds. Okay, we need a 5 subject spiral notebook. And we can get one of these any color we want. So here it's $3.28. Now we're at now we raise our total up to $23.49. Hand sanitizer bottle. So let's say like a bottle like this. $2.53. Add card. And then sealable bags. Boys. Snack bags. Where the hell would you get a snack bag from? Okay, so aside from earbud headphones. Okay, paper towels. Some of the most important things you need, like paper towels. So, shit. Did I? Okay, I accidentally clicked out. So, we need 2 packs of paper towels, and that's very easy because they're like $2.38 in Walmart. So, I think that should be it. Disinfectant wipes. How many do we need? We need 1 wipe. If you were to use the whole bottle, you would add it to the cart. So, with this in mind, all 21 items, facial tissue. Facial tissue? What the hell? Oh, it's like facial wipes. Okay, so we would need. Did it tell us boxes, large boxes? So this would have to be like 640. They give you 640, and then that's probably so. I think that's everything. Oh, we also need a earbud headphones or earbud. It could be wireless, it could be whatever. But go for the cheapest ones. Like this one. Find ones that are like very cheap. Like these. They're like, you can buy them for like $7.41. So you click on add on the cart. Now, let's look at our cart so far and see what we got. Our estimated total, so our pickup is free. We saved about $10.43. So if we look at our taxes, so let's take a look. So if we would look at all this, we would have saved up $10.43 on savings if we shopped at Walmart. If you shop at H-E-B, then you'd have to you would also be frustrated. So if you're going to be looking for good deals, wait till tax day. If you're going to do your shopping online, do your research beforehand. That way you can know about all these good deals. And in the case of our experiment, we saved $10.43 at Walmart. Sheesh, maybe when I meet Alyssa Lamb next time, I can show her this experiment, and maybe she won't be stressing out to every parent ever. So, if you're thinking about doing this, show this experiment to you, to your parents, to your friends' parents. That way you can know. But Okay, so our taxes is $3.34. That totals up to $49.41 because we saved $10.43. Remember, if you didn't have all those savings, you would have spent a lot of money. So everyone's feeling stressed, I know. So even I'm feeling scared right now. So that's the shopping supply list. And if you're stressed out like I was here, don't be. I know parents are like saying like I don't want to be spending a lot of money. There are ways you can save. Wait till tax day so that way you can know if you can save some money. Coming up, a back to school second look, all about homework and the dread of homework. And even the 7 reasons why homework sucks. So stay with us. If you're still confused about the school supplies that we did for a little experiment here, maybe a trip to HEB, another trip to HEB might help you out. Here's Lexus Green with our second look.
We have our school supplies list right here, 30 items. Let's knock it out. First off, let's get a binder. Right, erase markers. So let's grab a pen. A full pack of pens, 89 cents. Highlighter. Alright, okay, let's find some glue. 25 cents. We need a library journal and a composition. There it is. This is 70%. We need a 300 count. Last on our list is a large box of Kleenex. With a little bit of help, I was able to knock out that entire supplies list in just under 30 minutes. Now, all that's left to do is check them out. I was able to get 26 items here at HEB Plus today for a grand total of $48.23. Lexus Green, 3 News.
Very good, nice job, Lexus. Now she almost got all 30, but she was missing a pair of headphones and a handwriting tablet. But still, it was under 50 bucks. Without, also important to mention, without using any coupons. So not bad.
So if you were to not use any coupons, you would have knocked out some fucking prices. But if you were to use discounts, not coupons, but if you use discounts like we did for Walmart here, we saved $10. We saved $10.41. The total came up to almost $50. So if you're going to be doing your school supply list shopping, what I recommend you do, make it under $50 and less than a half hour for your child. Don't make it too difficult for them. Or if you don't have that money to look up school supplies, what you can do is find some places in your community that have free school supplies thing. That way you can save your money and you can donate and now you can have free school supplies. Not just that, have a free backpack. Even charity can really help out. Now you may remember we talked about homework. A lot of seasons ago we focused in on homework. Because if your child's have homework, it's just like I don't want to do homework. When I was a kid, we had homework Monday, 4 days a week. And even in summer school, we had homework. So, with this in mind, we're taking a second look into homework. Two videos. So let's take a look at this. Before we get into these two Rob Rant videos,
Let's get on with the rant, you wild platypus. Number 1.
So let's ask, can too much homework harm stress on your child?
Get on Depop and find great deals on different styles.
Too much homework. Can it be harmful to your child's health?
CBS 2's Tracy Carrasco shows us how the academic stress is hitting kids much earlier in life.
They are generation stress.
Oh, am I gonna pass this class with a good grade, or is it gonna be okay? I get anxiety.
These Bergen County teens overwhelmed and anxiety-ridden from hours of homework, high demands to get good grades and ultimately get into college. This school stress felt now more than ever and earlier among students. 14-year-old freshman Natalie already feeling the heavy burden.
Your heart starts beating really fast and you start sweating because you just get really nervous, like, how am I going to get this all done in time?
These teens say they're spending hours completing their mounting piles of homework.
3 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Just recently, researchers at Stanford University said hitting the books for 3 or more hours a night won't necessarily make a child perform better in school, but can make them sick. Some parents, like Natalie's father, agree.
To hear somebody who's 14 years old worry that if she doesn't turn in an assignment or if she gets an assignment wrong, that's it, she's never going to get into the school of her dreams, it's really frustrating to hear that.
And the number of teens seeking therapy to help manage these school stressors is on the rise.
We're seeing increased pressures to get into college. We have young kids, 9th grade, contemplating what they're going to do with their lives. They don't know, and they're so overwhelmed with having to make these decisions, not to mention competition.
Licensed psychotherapist Talia Filippelli says depression, anxiety, moodiness, nervousness, stomach aches, headaches, exhaustion are the most common effects of school stress. And one of the best ways parents can help, manage their own stress levels.
Parents living these very high stress lives don't realize that their kids are actually mirroring and copying the way that they handle stress.
Filippelli says for children and teens who aren't able to manage their stress while in school, it could lead to other stress-related illnesses when they get older. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, just to name a few. In the newsroom, Tracy Carrasco, CBS 2 News.
Gosh, and another tip for parents, help your children prioritize their school demands and assignments. Or we could ask that kid from William Floyd High School in Long Island,
Tell us how it works.
got into all 8 Ivies.
Quite
They
something.
figured it out.
Quite something. You should write a how-to book.
Exactly.
Yeah, how-to book. Well, there was a case in Canada which I think this was from Law by Mike's channel. So so let's take a look at this.
These are 3 things teachers think they can do, but legally can't. The first has to do with hairstyles.
So we're gonna pretend this isn't amazing?
Even if a teacher doesn't like your hair, they're not allowed to cut it themselves. What teachers can do is ask you to change it, but only if it breaks the school's dress code. Here's what you say. What part of the dress code is my hair breaking? If your teacher can't answer, you might not have to change it. Boy. Next, teachers can't go through your phone.
Give me that.
I was trying to subscribe to Law by Mike. Can she do that?
And sure, they can take your phone if you're disrupting class, but they can't search it unless they have reasonable suspicion it contains proof you broke a school rule or law.
Fine, but I'm not letting you leave.
Forcing you to stay after school is another thing teachers think they can do, but can't. It's usually legal for your teacher to ask you to stay after school, but they can't force you to stay. Legally, you can leave, but you'll probably get in more trouble with the school.
Too bad.
These are 3 things teachers think. If your teacher gives you too much homework, can you sue them?
I have to read all of these by tomorrow? I'm gonna sue you.
Don't you know there's no limit on how much homework I can assign?
She's right. Most schools don't have laws limiting homework, but if your school has a policy on maximum assignments, you can report her if she's breaking the rules.
But Mike, I can't handle all this homework. Are you sure I can't sue her?
Technically, you can sue for anything, but winning, that's a different story. You'd have to claim emotional distress, and proving that over homework would be very difficult.
So you're saying there's no way I can win?
Well, there was this one time. A group of Canadian parents sued their kid's school, arguing that homework was damaging family time. And guess what? They settled with the school, and their kids never had homework again.
Mom, Dad, we're removing tape.
If your teacher gives you too much homework, can you sue?
Don't ever do that. Don't ask your mom today, hey, can we go to Canada because too much homework. It's to help you prepare. Now, many people just say, oh, homework sucks. Or homework is just bad. Like we talked about, it can lead to stress. But proving it can be like really, really hard. Even if you don't have that type of proof to sue your school district. When we return, Rob has some reasons why homework sucks. And why you had to at least have and how if you already done your homework, you'd have at least a C. Like you turn all your assignments, but mostly you have a C in your class. Stay with us. As long as there's been children, there has been homework and the dread of homework. Like we talked about, it can lead to distress. And if you were to prove it into a court, it would be hard. In that case we saw in Canada, the school was sued because homework was impacting their family time. Meaning the child would not spend the time with the family because the child had homework to do. And so, that's exactly how it happened. It's also the many reasons why homework sucks. So here's Rob with our second look. Actually, he has 2 videos.
Let's get on with the rant, you wild platypus. Number 1. Some teachers in classrooms assign overwhelming amounts of homework. Meaning, if you did every single homework assignment, you'd have at least a C in the class, a passing grade. But most people copy homework, finish it fast so they don't have to do it later, don't retain the information, and pass the class without learning shit. Number 2, some teachers assign homeworks that are worth like 2 points for 10 questions. The entire classroom semester is like 5,000 points because there's 100-point projects and 200-point quizzes and exams. And the fucking homework is worth like 5 points. And sometimes they're like written paragraph answers that take an hour to do. Skip it. Use that hour to study or something else because it's not worth it. Number 3, teachers assign a shit ton of homework where all it is copying down. Let's just say they're math problems. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Addition, subtraction. I get maybe like 5 or 10 where you get on a roll and you start learning, oh, like I actually figured it out. Like this is how you do it. Okay, I'm getting better, I'm getting good, and this is it. They go overboard. They assign fucking 100 of the same problems. Because then after like problem 20, it's just like repetitive bullshit. Now I'm sitting here tired, literally, from writing. My hand is cramping, Mrs. Puffs, make it stop. And it's literally repetition to the point where it's a waste of time. If I know how to do it by problem 20, I know how to do it by problem 100. So those packets are a giant fucking waste of time. Number 4, some teachers are bad teaching in classrooms as it is. There are some fantastic teachers who have made a giant impact on my life that I'm so grateful for. But then there are some that's like, where did you get your teaching degree? A cereal box? The classroom's out of control with people asking stupid questions. Wait, so like the United States has like multiple like states, filled with like dumbass people. Is this gonna be on the test? But then when the teachers assign you homework in that class, nothing from the homework you see on the test. I had a class the other day where I had to do 550 vocab cards within a span of like 3 weeks. I'd rather have jerked off an elephant. Which none of the words, even as I studied through them, none of the words appear on the test. What was the point? I'm a verbal learner. I like the environment and the information given to me, spoken, all of those interactions in the classroom. I don't retain information by copying things down. So if I'm doing fucking vocab cards and I'm looking on the screen and copying it down, I'm just next. I'm retaining nothing. I just want to get it fucking done as fast as I can. Number 5, some teachers assign you things where you clearly it just hits you after, doing it and turning it in. Wow, that assignment almost had no relevance to the class. Say it's like some government class and you do current events and things that matter. And then there'll be one assignment that's like fucking totally irrelevant. Analyze what types of dreams your baby sister has and compare it to the problems of the world today. I have to spend 5 days in a fucking group to get this done. When absolutely there is nothing, not even the different aspects of it, nothing that pertains to the class and all the tests I took after that assignment. Why give me material to review when it's not going to be on the test? And the worst part about tests, including homework, some things on the homework are never on the test, so you're better off paying attention in class more or reading the book. Critical thinking tests, where nothing is relevant. It's all totally what you can connect the dots with. The number one thing I hate about those kinds of tests is when you ask a teacher a question because you're stumbled between like 2 or 3 answers, and you explain, well, this one makes sense in this case scenario, and that one makes sense in that case scenario. Both answers could be right. And I got this before. Yeah, you're right, but one of them's a little bit more correct than the other. Also, ever heard of example questions and answers on the internet? Example essays? It's not plagiarism, it's influence. Last but not least, I hate far-fetched homework, where it'll be like 100-point if you want to do it assignment to raise your grade. Oh, take a trip with your family to the Grand Canyon, stand by the edge and roll a boulder down the entire cliffside, and measure its velocity and see when the sun comes up, if it's on the east or west on a Tuesday night at 3 o'clock. You're gonna want to, some like bullshit thing like that. Do you think half the class actually does it? They just bullshit it, like write down like what would have happened using, little scientific formulas or something like that, and you're set. No one actually goes out of their way that much to do something like that. And what's the deal with teachers saying in-class homework? There's no such thing as in-class homework. It's called classwork, meaning it's a way of saying, you guys don't have homework today, but I'm not gonna, let it off that easy. I'm just gonna say you guys can do your homework in class. Evaluate your points, evaluate the amount of homework, evaluate the type and what it can be used for. Because honestly, most of the time, homework sucks. From middle school, high school, college. Sometimes your teacher's great, sometimes you look at the homework and be like, this class is the best. Barely get assigned homework, but it's still like very good homework, actually something I'd want to do, like to kind of prepare myself and shit. That's great. The rest of the time, fucking cat poop salad. Thanks guys so much for hearing some of my thoughts.
Number 1, some teachers assign way too much homework. That's like 90% of the class. Like, what's the point of the test if I can get a freaking D on the test, a shit grade on the essay, but the homework's worth like 500 points out of 600? Those classes, I guess, are easy. It's like, do the homework and you'll pretty much pass the class, but really, it's more tiring than anything. Number 2, teachers who assign a crap ton of homework, but they're only worth like 10 points at the end of the day. Like when you look at the total points in the class or whatever, all the homework adds up to like 5%. Honestly, don't do it. It's not worth it. Use that time to study, use that time to finish other shit in class, because a lot of times it's a ridiculous amount of homework and you're slaving yourself for pretty much nothing. And some of them are like a 4-page assignment, but it's only worth 5 points? Yeah, screw it. Number 3, and I hate these kind of assignments because these homework assignments, it's all repetition. Like the teacher will give you a packet or a homework assignment, whatever. Let's just say, for example, it's math problems, 5 times 5, or you're learning a new formula, whatever it is. It's like 50 questions on the same thing. Like by the 5th problem, you're like, okay, doing that, I got it. Like after the first few examples, you're like, I got how to do it, but there's 100 fucking more. What is this, standards? Like my hand is cramping, Mrs. Pops! And you literally spend like an hour doing the same fucking thing 100 times. Repetitive assignments like that are a waste of time. Like, dude, by the 5th problem, I got it. But there's 50 more? This sucks giraffe tits. The other types of homework I despise is the ones that are completely irrelevant from the text. Like you do all the homework assignments, I never do, but people do all the homework assignments, and then the day of the test they're like, none of these questions are on the test, professor. Like, I don't remember, yeah, because they want to make it critical thinking tests or whatever it is. And even those ones are fucking bullshit. Because there's some that I run across and I'm like, okay, answer A makes sense, but so does answer B. And I shit you not, there's been a time where I've called the teacher over, I've explained to him exactly why I think it could be answer A and B, and the guy says, oh, I see how you got that. I can see why you think that. And I'm sitting there like, so which one would it be? It would be the 2 by 4. And he goes, I'll put it to you this way. One's a little bit more correct than the other. One's a little more correct than the other. Nice job on your critical thinking test. So I might as well not even fucking do the homework if it's not going to be on the test. I might as well study or critically think at home. Whatever the hell that means. Number 5, a lot of students complain about repetitions. Like, I'm not retaining any information. Some of the homework assignments are fucking completely made up, completely irrelevant shit from the material. Like, yes, I could look at it and copy it down. Copying shit down doesn't mean I'm learning anything. Because when it comes to the actual test or whatever, you actually have to solve a problem. So the homework has like nothing to do with it. But to prepare you for the test, it doesn't actually serve a purpose. So you Google shit on your own. Like, haven't you ever heard of example problems, example essays on books you have to read or whatever? Might as well Google all that stuff to be prepared for the test than the homework or whatever. Because it's not plagiarism, it's influence. And the ones I really hate is when the teacher assigns you homework that's like completely out of fucking line. Sometimes it'll be an extra credit thing, but the assignment is like, take a fucking family trip to the Grand Canyon, grab a fucking boulder, stand on the very edge, roll it off the cliff, measure its fucking velocity and momentum when the sun's at a 45-degree angle on a Tuesday morning when the cattle come home. Way too grand for just 5 measly extra credit points. You do this whole piss bowl soup of a thing, and it's only worth like 5 points. Like half the class doesn't even do it anyway. They just fucking bullshit about their experience or how to solve the problem or what they learned for those 5 points. No one actually goes out and does it. Because now it's not fucking homework, it's take a whole day's trip worth work. Waste an entire day outside work. And that's the last point. Some teachers are just a little too lazy, so sometimes they'll go, oh, you don't have any homework today, class, or you could do your homework in class. Well, it's not called homework anymore, it's called classwork. Let's get that straight. But honestly, evaluate your points, because I know so many dumb people in class who cry about it and go, I've done like all the homework assignments, and I still have a D+ in the class. Well, you should have realized what they were worth. Professor, is this part of the homework going to be on the test? No shit, is this your first time in class? Like, when are you ever going to ask the teacher and he's going to be like, oh, the homework questions? No, they're not going to be on the test whatsoever. The test is completely irrelevant to the homework assignments I'm giving. Like, when's it really going to be that? And which is funny because sometimes it is, sometimes it's like nothing on the test was part of the homework. You know, they'll give you another, oh, well, you know, I tried to make it more critical thinking or whatever the fuck bullshit reason they have. Honestly, homework in general, at least in America, sucks. Sometimes you'll get those awesome teachers, those awesome assignments, homework assignments where you're literally like, shit, like I did learn, you know, it's straight to the point, I aced the test, I retained the information, it's good, the way it's written, perfect. God bless those moments. Otherwise, it's fucking cat poop salad.
Of course it's just cat poop salad, but you gotta evaluate your points. If you evaluate your points, you'll know how much homework you're getting, and you know how much what your grade is. We'll be right back. The dreaded no pass, no play. That's gonna mean, like, if you're sitting there gonna be like, I want to sign up for athletics, I want to sign up for extracurricular activities. Okay, but you gotta realize that your grades matter. So if you have a 57 in history, you think that they're gonna have you to playing basketball? No. You're going to be out on a 3-week suspension. Meaning, your child has to sit out from sports for 3 weeks until the progress report comes in. So once the progress report comes in, you got to know that the progress report piece of paper does not hurt your child. It helps you out. Like, oh, okay, I have this grade here. Like, I have a 95 in this class. I have to keep it at that 95, otherwise if I don't, I won't be able to play football. So if you miss no pass, no play, take one.
Hey guys, Coach Ross here. I'm going to talk to you about eligibility. So for the middle school, we go by UIL rules, and you have to be able to pass your classes in order to play because you're a student athlete first. So your grades are very important. So you have to be able to make a 70 or higher on your report card in order for you to be able to participate for sports, fine arts, that's choir, band, orchestra, or even the academic decathlon stuff that we have that go on as well. And that has to be in every single one of your classes. That you have to make a 70 or higher. But you should be striving to make A's and B's, but you need at least a 70 or higher in order to be able to participate. So what that means is, if you fail for the 6 weeks, so if whenever your report card comes out and it is in your hands and it says that you look at all your classes, and if you are failing a class or more with a 70 or the 69 or below, then you cannot play for 3 weeks. So that means that you can't ride the bus or anything. You can still go to games, but you can't sit on the bench or anything. You have to just sit in the bleachers and watch. But you are still expected to go to practice and be able to still participate that way, because when the report cards come out in 3 weeks later, and if you are passing all your classes, not just the class that you failed, but you have to be passing every single one of your classes with a 70 or higher, then you're able to be able to participate again. So that's why we ask that you still come to practice, because if you are passing on your report or your progress report, then you're able to start playing again. But not that day, you have to wait until Friday. So eligibility goes from Friday to Friday of those 3 weeks. But if you fail again, so let's say your progress report comes out and then you didn't pass one of your classes, I'll go over that here in a second, but this only pertains to the ones who have failed for the 6 weeks prior to that progress report coming out. If you failed on your progress report but you didn't fail on your report card, then you're okay. And remember, progress reports only help you, they don't hurt you. So the following, let's say you failed that that progress report and you're still failing in class, and you sit out another 3 weeks. So then that means you'll be out a total of 6 weeks. And by that time, you're still asked to come to practice, but by that time your sport is probably over and you've missed the whole season, because the seasons are shortened this year with COVID. So a recap of everything is, you have to pass all your classes, all of them, with a 70 or higher in order to be able to still participate in sports or whatever UIL event that you are in. So if you, when your report card comes out and you fail one class or more, then you are ineligible and you have to sit out 3 weeks. And you have to wait until your progress report comes out. And when your progress report comes out, and if you are passing a class, then you're good to go and you can play again. And if you're failing a class, you have to sit out another 3 weeks and wait till your report card comes, and then you have to be passing all your classes then. And if you are, then maybe you can play, or your season may be done, or you'll have to wait again till another progress report comes out, and then by that time it's probably a new sport. So remember, it is only for ones who are failing for the no pass, no play for the progress report, which we'll explain to you again as the season goes along. But progress reports are only there to help you, not hurt you, if that makes sense.
And nobody can give you any special treatment when it comes to stuff like this. So like I talked about, we talked about this last year for our Flashback Friday. We also talked about this we talked about this 6 years ago. We also talked about this last year for Throwback Thursday. We also did one last year for Back to School Month. And so I'm telling y'all now again, if you don't pass your classes, you won't be able to play football or participate in any extracurricular activities. This is true for me. I didn't play football. I participated in Special Olympics, so where you can play bowling, you can do swimming, basketball, all that. Then months and weeks ahead, there's competitions. I didn't want to be pulled out of class because of the stuff that's happening. I don't know how I signed up for Special Olympics, but I do have the medals to prove it. And let me say this: had I not continued on with Special Olympics, I would have been pulled out of class, and Coach Hall would have been like, this is at the third. But I decided to leave in 2011 because I did not want to be pulled out of class. Did not at all. Because school comes first. Your academics come first. You can't just sit there and say, oh, your teacher will be understandable. Yes, but the grades won't. If I get you get an F in science, and if I were to get an F in science, will I still be able to participate in Special Olympics? Absolutely not. Even the teacher getting involved saying, hey, he failed his science test, he failed science, he should not participate in extra activities. So if my mom had heard about that while I was still in Special Olympics, she would have not only confronted the coach, but the whole school and say, hey, he's failing his classes, he should not be able to participate. And there's also a commentary from 1995. Take a look at this one.
Points, and this pass to Bill Wellington to win. No pass, no play is back in the news again. Coaches appear to be finally getting their way, and we're telling our kids again, education runs a distant second to athletics in this state. State senators in Austin say the state's requirement of at least a 70 in the classroom is too much. 6 weeks with no games is too long, and those of us who support no pass, no play have set our education standards too high. The arguments to repeal the law or even soften the law are incredibly stupid arguments. One senator says if our kids can't play games because they can't pass, they join gangs and drop out of school. There's no evidence of that. The dropout rate is actually lower now than it was 10 years ago when no pass, no play started in Texas. Dallas Khan Academy counselors who work with more than 700 dropouts a year see another 1,000 or so say they don't see any who dropped out because they can't play football. Coaches and state senators tell us that if we deprive these kids of their games, we deprive them of the discipline, the support, the character we instill through sports. I'd like to know what those coaches say to the kids who try out for basketball every year but are cut from the team because they're too short or too slow. Several area school districts confirming for us they do that every year. What about those kids? If you're 6'4" and can slam dunk a basketball, we care a great deal about you. If you're 5'4", go join a gang. Drop out if you want, because we will deprive you of the discipline, the support, and the character we instill through sports. It disgusts me that we're arguing in 95 what we decided in 85. Coaches then, who would never accept a 65 on the football field, think we should in the classroom. If your kid runs the right play 85% of the time for any football team in Texas, he won't play football in Texas. We have the best high school football in America because we demand it, because we expect it, and because we set our standards very high. I don't understand why so many people are afraid to demand and expect the same in the classroom. Since those of us who do won that argument 10 years ago, grades have gone up. The passing requirement was 60 back then, and kids were failing with 58s and 59s. Now the passing requirement is 70, and our kids are failing with 68s and 69s. If we raise the passing requirement to 80, we'd have kids failing with 78s and 79s. Too many kids will do just enough to get by and then sometimes fail. I know that because I was one of those kids. I failed every class I took my sophomore year to show my friends just how tough I was. My basketball coach was tougher. After sitting out 9 weeks, Gene Evans didn't let me play the next 9 weeks either. Says I should have been there in October when he needed me. My junior year, I had to have C's, mid-80s in Iowa back then, or I didn't play again. I'm here now because of Gene Evans, and teacher Frank Weiland, and my dad. Too many kids don't have a dad, don't have Frank Weiland, and there's not enough coaches like Gene Evans either. If your kid, your student, or your player thinks his or her self-worth is determined by the games they play, if a high school education is only necessary to play, you've already failed that kid. Our senators say a first-time offender should receive a 3-week penalty, but only once. That thinking amazes me. We can't keep a kid out of sports 6 weeks for failing in the classroom because they'll join a gang. 3 weeks is enough. But fail a second time, and now it's time to join a gang because we're getting tough on you now. Sounds like a criminal justice system to me. Probation for a first-time offender, early parole for the rest, and we all know how much we appreciate the work our judges and prisons are doing to control crime in America. Why do we want our schools to follow that system? This isn't a Channel 8 opinion, it's mine, and I would like to hear yours. You can write me here at Channel 8, and I will write or call back. I'll talk to you anytime about our kids' education and athletics because I think our schools, our coaches, and our kids can do even better. Got off my soapbox and I could get.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you, Dale. Thanks, Dale. Well, so to come tonight.
And I'm still on the soapbox, but there's no pass, no play, because nobody cares about their education. A piece of paper, a high school diploma is just a piece of paper showing you that you could accomplish school. Like, if you give a 69 on the test, you're still playing soccer. You think they're going to allow you to continue to play soccer because you have a 69? No. No pass, no play still exists. Keep up with your classes. It's like this. If you have a test, a quiz that's upcoming, study for the homework. Otherwise, you won't be able to play. Take a look at this.
Now, while my son finished cutting, I'm about to go tell my neighbors to cut their damn grass over there looking like a...
If you have a quiz that's upcoming, you study the homework that you had or whatever classwork you had to understand what could possibly be on the quiz. When it comes to your playbook, for you to know the responsibilities, for you to know what to do out there on the field, you got to put some study time behind whatever coaches tell you to study, or else you can't play. If you don't understand something in the classroom, you need to be taking the time out to meet your teachers before school to get the help that you need, or better yet, raise your hand in the classroom if you don't understand something. When it comes out here to the football field, if you're not getting your keys and your assignments, you should be checking your coach, asking them, what is it that I need to do? How should my technique be here at this given time? Or stay after practice to get extra reps to make sure you understand your job. There's a correlation there. And when it comes to tests in the classroom, you study what your homework assignments were, what the previous quizzes were, and what your class assignments are, so you can pick up on the tendencies that the teachers are giving you as to what could be on the test. Well, when it comes to Friday Night Lights, you get with your coaches and you watch film. You watch film of yourself. You watch film of the opponent, so you can know what the tendencies are, so that way when the games come around, you are not confused. You're running out there 100 miles per hour. There's studying involved. You take that same mindset that you have on the football field and you apply it to your academics, and I promise you will see an uplifted advancement in what you do. Chase excellence in the classroom. Now, I know some of y'all might be geniuses in the classroom. Well, congratulations. I'm proud of you. It comes a little bit more natural to you. And you might be saying, well, I don't need this message. But football is a team sport. So if your academics come naturally to you, then you should be taking things a step further to make sure that you help your fellow brother pass the class that he needs to pass, or better yet, get a better grade in the class that he's going through. Like if you've been through a class, you see one of your brothers struggling on this football team, you should be going out of your way to try to help your fellow brother. That's family. Don't look for somebody else to do the job. You do the job. So this message is for you when it comes to academics. There's no I in what? Say it louder. There's no I in what? Exactly.
Unless you're in a different country, like what Victor told me. There's no I in team, and unless you're from a different country. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. As we're approaching the end of this back to school shit fest, let me tell you what we've been through. We've been through everything throughout all these years, and the purpose of me doing these episodes every July is basically because to help you, the child, especially the parents, because there's no parent in the world out there that can understand more about your child's education than the teachers. Dedicated professionals can really be helping you out. And when it comes to, what we talked about, we first began to talk about the issue of cell phones in our school, which led us to begin this year's Back to School Month from this video.
Greg Abbott, I just gotta say this. Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and all you other assholes that are over at the Texas Capitol that just voted for kids to not be able to have cell phones last Sunday. I hope you remember that. Well, it's kind of messed up. Why is it messed up? You're always, kids need to focus. They need to stay on track. But let's not forget that last year we had 24 shootings in 2024. The highest amount of shootings this whole nation saw. School shootings. Because kids, they had active shooters on site. And the only way that they could get a hold of somebody was through their cell phones. But you want to make it a rule that they can't have their cell phones on because why? They need to focus in school. What about calling their parents and let them know they're safe? But you have to have their phones in a safe, secure location. You guys don't give a crap about kids. You get nothing. It's their lifeline. ET phone home, something's gone wrong. But no, you'd rather just, what? What are you doing away with this for? Why can't kids have their cell phones? Oh, because maybe they're cheating, right? But you do nothing about pew-pew control in the schools to protect them. What, you're just going to hire more police officers so what, that they'll run? Remember Uvalde? Those cops didn't even get involved. Kids had to call their parents. They had to call the police. Let them know there's a school shooter on site. Massive floodings in on their phone systems. Oh, there's a school shooter on site. You want to do away with their phones. And while everybody was all worried about the SB3, legal hemp in Texas, we want to be able to enjoy ourselves. This got signed into office. Got signed into the bills. And now he's got a special session on the books. And everybody's like, oh, they're gonna try to take away SB3 again. It's not even about that, it's about redistricting. They're putting into play everything that they could take away. Redistricting Texas so that they stay a Republican state. So that they can keep pushing this thing, like taking away rights from us, taking away our kids, their livelihoods, but they'll do not one damn thing about gun control. Not one damn thing. And my son was worried about that yesterday. He explained to me what if there's a school shooter, Dad? How will I get a hold of you? What, am I going to have to just get on the news while I'm at work? I'd rather him be able to have his phone to call me. But ChatGPT's doing their homework for him. Fuck you. Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on the state for not caring about kids.
I just gotta say,
hey, there are other things that this law is not focusing on. He's missing the biggest layer of all: cyberbullying. There are state laws that help prevent bullying from happening, but no one does anything. Everybody can do something about cyberbullying, but not pew-pew control. I mean, last year we've had over 24 school shootings in 2024, but this year there could be another school shooter. Remember Uvalde? The cops didn't even get involved. All it was just on the cell phone. If Uvalde was the reason that law was put into place, well, they ought to take a second look and say, hey, we need to take a second look at this law because we need to keep our children safe. It's not just that, it's to end distraction to the educational process. It's not just cheating or ChatGPT. Now they could be using AI. If you were to look at if you look at a Chrome extension for looking up answers, you take a screenshot of the question, they explain it to you in full detail, and then you would get the answer. Teachers would be expecting you were cheating, and you'd be like, well, you're not teaching me anything, you're blah, 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 blah. It's like, get out of my class. We're not talking about cheating. What we're talking about here is, why the law is put in place. It's not just mental health, You can't just be looking at the cheating solution in the school shooting situation. You have to look at the bullying effect, It could help end bullying. And Flower Bluff got tough. And Flower Bluff got tough with the cell phone policy. When they heard about the House bill, this was from their Facebook page saying This is what it said. Dear Hornet families, FKIC is committed to fostering an academic environment that prioritizes student learning, engagement, and safety. The recent passage of House Bill 1481 by the United Texas Legislature, all school districts are required to prohibit students from using personal communication devices, including cell phones and smartwatches, outside district-issued devices on school property during a school day. And this is what the superintendent said. As we review the legislation in full, we want to assure our community that many of the bill's guidelines are already reflected on the current district practices. However, we are taking this opportunity to assess and refine campus-level procedures to ensure consistency and full compliance across all grade levels. Updated guidelines shared with students with families prior to the first day of school on August 13th. Updates will ensure we meet all legal requirements while promoting a respectful and distraction-free learning environment for every Hornet. And and it got a lot of attention. Like, thank you. No such not allowed. Must be towards not. It's not. I also believe it's H.1 for this specific issue, since H.1.2 is about revising parole and probation. 10 people shared this. Looking at all the shares. Plenty of people out there are probably have their own opinions about this cell phone policy put in place. But now they're having their own handbook from last year, which before the BYOD was put into an end, you know. Personal device policy, and this is also posted on their Instagram page. This is from their Instagram page. At Fall of IC, we believe technology should be used with purpose. While it's a powerful tool for enhancing instruction, it should never replace quality teaching, student interactions, or hands-on learning. Our classrooms prioritize teacher-led instruction, preparation, and real-world experiences. Compliance House Bill 1481, 5 days revised procedures for student of personal communication devices during the school day. Students have access to district service providers when needed. Policy. All personal communication devices must be turned off and stored in backpacks, personal vehicles during school hours, including class time, past periods, and lunch. These are devices included cell phones, smartwatches, wireless headphones, personal laptops, or tablets. Students who do not follow this policy will be subject to disciplinary action as outlined in the Flavo Student Code of Conduct. And in case of emergency, students will have access to campus-assigned designated campus telephones for communication. That's easy for them, right? Yes. So there's a solution put in place. Not many people are happy with this solution. And then one person was like 2 days ago, what happens in case of a whole school emergency and all parents can be contacted? We have to wait in line and go one by one? Well, a person would come on now. People may say, well, this is BS. But personal computers, come on, it's just going to make the kids act worse. It's to prevent distraction education process and prevent bullying from happening. Nobody understands House Bill 1481. We already took a look at this, and we gotta do that episode about this. Then we'll save that for season 9. We're gonna take another break. We'll be right back. It's like I said before the break. Y'all may be confused about House Bill 1481. We've already reviewed it for our back to school month, and if we gotta take another look at it, then we have to spend a season 9 episode to take another look at this House bill, because all y'all are confused about this House bill. Nobody understands it. I mean, if it was an emergency, there are campus-assigned cell phones. I mean, when I was growing up, this would happen. If you need to call your parents, you'd ask the teacher to use their phone. You have to have permission. Then you would call your mom and dad. You don't come down here and call and text. There's a phone. When I was growing up, it was like, use your phone, you get paid. You have to pay $15 to get it back. It's like That's how it was. Kids pay $50 to get the phone back. Parents nowadays have to pay to get them back. You know, it's. I mean, what if it was very important? Like, we all know, like, what if it's an emergency? Then the school will contact the parent. Like, okay, it's an emergency, so the school can contact the child. I mean, it's like, nobody understands about House Bill 1481 because nobody wants to read the whole piece of paper. Nobody knows about House Bill 1481. The enrolled version. This was under section 37.082. Nobody knows. All this is under section 37.082 of the Education Code. No one understands that. Capitol.texas.gov. That's the law that we look into. Read it line by line, sentence by sentence. You'll understand. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Good night. And take care of yourself and each other.